I want to take this group and go with what we had, stop, play, or if you're playing solo, or maybe, rather than solo, I'd rather say foreground. You know, it doesn't have to be solo in the sense of, you know, but play something that's in the foreground. So we have this karate chop, play something totally different, and this is drone. And now I'm going to add one more. The idea of the pit. This means everybody make a unison hit. A loud percussive note.
Same note every time? Can it be a different sounding every time?
I would say this is very good. And I'm going to introduce two more. This is noise. In other words, outside of tonality. That's noise that you can get. Okay? So this is pips and this is noise. So let's start with everybody. You can do better than that, brother. back to this side, I'm going to introduce another very useful. I never just watch. How much longer do we have? Okay, perfect. Another very useful signal to learn is this one. This means imitate. By the way, you guys played perfectly. I made a couple of very unclear calls, so thanks for rolling with me. Something I'll say generally about this kind of conduction. I'm coming up with these things that I found useful. The object of my sharing them with you is not to get you to do these things, but to get you to think about what's useful for your own band and your own musical situation. So you should think about the moves that you want to be able to conduct, the moves that you wish would happen with your band, but don't seem to happen. And you should, the idea is to customize these to your type of band. I have no presumption that what people are going to do when they leave here is go out and make out improvised music. Okay? I'm sure a lot of you are involved in a lot of different kinds of musical projects, and I don't valorize. I think free improvisation is for some going to be a need and a passion. And for others, it's going to be a really useful exercise. Okay? But what I hope you will do is use these things, customize them for your own band. Like, for example, for a while I was involved in one of my bands in creating something like, trying to create a kind of dancing thing. And I took mix moves that would, be made by a dance mixer, and I made conduction signals for it. For example, I pointed the bass drum, and that would mean the drum would break down to 4 on the floor, just like in a disco tune, right? Or I'd go like this, directed at the drummer, and then break down to back beats. Back, back, back. So, between that and I also borrowed something from like playing wedding bands, like where they go, you can tell people what key it is. This means 1 sharp, this means 1 flat. So this is the key of G, this is the key of F, this is the key of D, this is the key of B flat, and so on and so on. So between the drum signals and showing people the key, man, we could play for like an hour with no rehearsal. Great. So these are hopefully labor-saving devices. And they would fake it with any group of musicians, get out of their lives. Okay. So all that said, another thing. When you're using these things, if you decide to use these things, my advice is, I have 2 pieces of advice. One is use very sparingly, because I found that when the more people use these, the less initiative the musicians tend to take themselves. It's very, if someone overuses conduction, then the musicians are just sitting there waiting for your next call instead of playing and using their own imagination. So there's a lot to be said. And for example, the AACM musicians that I've worked with almost never use this kind of conduction system. Butch Morris used it, but in his own way. There's a lot to be said for spending a whole lot of time improvising and letting things be. Having faith that things will come out. There's a lot to be said for composing. So if you decide to use these, I would suggest a minimal rather than, right now I'm using a maximal application just to get it to get it, to show people what you can do with it. But I would recommend a minimal application. The other general, super important piece of advice is if you're going to use conduction, be super rigorous. In other words, use the moves you've agreed to make and only the moves you've agreed to make. Because if you don't do that, otherwise, what you get is like somebody standing in front of a bunch of musicians going, gesticulating and slobbering. And you just say, what the fuck? Basically, silently or not so silently yelling at people. So, don't use this means to play quieter. No, if you didn't agree to that beforehand, get a vocabulary, stick to it strictly. Okay. So, speaking of vocabulary, what we have again is play, or if you're not playing, be featured. Stop. Drone. And if anybody has any questions about any of this, let me, feel free to ask. Okay, we have drone. Pardon? Okay. Then we have karate chop. Totally different. You guys did that great. Play something totally different from what you were just playing in every way, including you can lay out. Then we have noise. Really noise. And if you're having trouble playing noise, go home and work on it. It's an important thing to know. And now we have pips, bam. Like this is stop. This is going to be play rhythmic, blam, 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 blam. And the other thing that, ones that I want to introduce are, one I want to introduce is imitate. Okay, this is a really super important one. So what I will do is say, imitate. If I like something that you're playing, and I want somebody else to play it too, I'll go imitate him. Imitate him. When you're leading your own band, by the way, you can say, imitate me. That's where it becomes, you can really do spontaneous composition with that. So I can get everybody imitating him, or anybody, okay? So, is there another one that I was going to? That's good enough for now. Where's the parameter? Where did we draw the line? I forget. Between, I'll draw it. Wow, a lot of guitars. What I'm going to do is carve out, what I'm going to do is do one of these new voting districts. We're going to gerrymander the band a little bit. You guys wait for the next round. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? Well, you know what? May as well make the whole thing for visual. What all you guys do, this is going to be harder than it was. But it's add to the drums. Okay. So.